I'm Clint Webb, and I'm running for Senate. I have a short cropped haircut, a pretty enough yet accessible looking wife, and a newborn baby that I've dressed in a suit to prove to you that I mean business. For the last 15 years, I've lived my life in such a bland, uncontroversial, and repressed manner that it's almost unnatural. Why? Because I've been preparing to be your representative since I was a child. Most well-adjusted, sane men would be hesitant to take a job where their decisions would so drastically affect the lives of so many. But not me. I possess a sort of sociopathic narcissism that makes me think that I should be in charge of everyone. But all of that needs to start here at home, in this beautiful state that I've grown to love since I moved here 18 months ago. Together, we can piggyback some of our state's legitimate needs onto my unquenchable lust for self-glorification. And that's a promise. Here's an unflattering picture of my opponent. Here's a quote of his taken out of context. Oh, and one more thing. I have a dog. I enlisted in the military for the minimum amount of time in a position that would never see combat. Why? Well, because it would help me be your senator. I don't make friends. I make acquaintances. All of my motives are ulterior. I'm self-involved to the point of psychosis. My soul is terrifying. And that's leadership. So this November, let's send Washington a message. And what is that message? Hey, me.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Bibi. I'm here with my co-host, Navasa. What's up? How you doing?
Another day, another piece of bullshit in the news.
Yeah, a lot is going on all the time, it seems, every moment. I don't know if it means because like life is just getting out of hand and society has lost its mind, or if it's just because we have more access and we see it more, on social media. Maybe it's just both. But yeah, as always, we have all the top stories for you guys, some local stuff, and why don't we just kick it off? Of course, you can follow the show, the real Roma _AK. You could follow me on X, Elizabeth213A, and Lord Navasa. That's his handle on X as well. You could also go to the QR code at the top of the screen. Thank you, Brian. That'll bring you to riseofmiddleamerica.com. That's our website with all the goodies. All right, so why don't we head over to Fox News? They've identified the Michigan church gunman, and we're going to learn a little bit more about him. So as they ask, who is Thomas Jacob Sanford? What we know about the suspected Michigan church gunman. The man police identified as the gunman who killed at least 4 people and injured several others during services at the Michigan Mormon Church on Sunday before setting the building on fire is a 40-year-old Marine veteran who served in Iraq. Thomas Jacob Sanford was named by authorities as the man who rammed a Chevy Silverado truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, before opening fire on the hundreds of worshipers gathered there. Sanford then allegedly set the building on fire before being killed by responding officers. Police said that they believe Sanford used an accelerant like gasoline to start the fire. At a short news conference, authorities confirmed that Sanford from nearby Burton, Michigan, was the lone suspect. Sanford served in the Marines from 2004 to 2008 as an organizational automotive mechanic and vehicle recovery operator, the Marine Corps told Fox News. He deployed to Iraq as part of the Operation Iraqi Freedom. He earned several awards during his 4 years of service, including the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, and the National Defense Service Medal. He left with the rank of sergeant, and his last duty assignment was the 2nd Maintenance Battalion, Combat Logistics Regiment 25, 2nd Marine Logistics Group at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Police sources told Fox Detroit that Sanford had a wife and son. A GoFundMe page from 2015 raised more than $3,000 for Sanford and his wife's now 10-year-old son, who was reportedly born with a congenital hyperinsulinism, a rare genetic condition in which the pancreas releases too much insulin. So this is a quote here. So Sunday shooting began at around 10:30 a.m. There was a quote here. He drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. Grand Blanc Township Police Chief William Rainey told reporters of what unfolded. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals at this time, at the time of this reporting, including one who has passed away. 2 responding officers confronted Sanford and exchanged gunfire with him, killing him, the chief said. Sanford was armed with what appeared to be a rifle, he added. Authorities initially reported that 1 person had been killed. Hours later, police said a 2nd victim had passed away at the hospital. Later Sunday evening, police said 2 additional bodies had been recovered from the burned-out church. Authorities said the search for additional victims was ongoing at the time. And I know from watching a more updated press conference that all the victims had been accounted for, as far as like who was in the church, because there was that massive fire. You know, it took them a while to just locate everybody, anybody who was supposed to be there, and you know, however they do that process where they talk to family members and whatnot.
Yep.
So
family members, next of kin.
Just kind of like check, you know, do check-ins and whereabouts, and then, you know, kind of narrow it down as well as kind of look through whatever wreckage was going on in the church to make sure that nobody was left behind in there. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, fatal violence has become too commonplace. You know, there's going to be people, because it was a church, there were a lot of people speculating on who this person was, what their motives were, if they were, you know, anti, you know, religion, and they were coming from another religion that, you know, people are worried about. It doesn't seem to be the case. We don't have, there's a lot of rumors going on, but we don't have like clear, you know, motive coming out of the law officials, you know, saying that they found something. I know I found something here from, let's see what this is, M Live Flint, where they kind of posted a timeline. They said Thomas Jacob Sanford, the man police identified as the gunman, made anti-Mormon comments in the days before the shooting, according to a man who met him while campaigning for local office. So there's that. So I don't know. I've heard something that's possibly that he was targeting it because of his estranged wife, because she was probably, you know, a constant parishioner. But that, to me, is still a rumor. I just keep hearing it on social media from different people, but I haven't heard anything like solid. I could be wrong though. I was like looking around and I didn't really find anything on that.
Well, what I would argue at this point is, what aren't they saying? What isn't the piss stream media saying? Right now, they're harping on the fact that he's a veteran. They're harping on the fact that he's 40. So you're talking elder millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mental health has come
the
up, of
fact
course.
that they found, well, that's going to be part and parcel.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, they already are harping on the fact that he had a Trump Vance 2024 flag in his backyard, allegedly. And the only reason they found and identified the man was because of his license plate on the back of his truck. And it matched.
I didn't see anything about the flag, but
I
I did see something where there was like a Facebook post that he had with like him and his then wife or then girlfriend or whoever she was at the time of the post. And he was wearing a shirt, but on the shirt there was like a Trump Vance or a Trump, kind of like a MAGA whatever here in the middle of the shirt. And people found out that that was actually superimposed on the image, that it wasn't real. So that was going around. And then they found the actual photo, which it didn't have that. It was just kind of like a camouflage shirt, regular shirt. So I don't know. But I mean, we are seeing a lot of violence, but it doesn't always necessarily have to be political. It could be. I mean, again, it's still an ongoing investigation. We don't know everything about it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be political. It could be totally personal to this person. And, also he could be targeting this group because he became extremely mentally ill and he felt like that church maybe, and again, this speculation, he could have felt that church wronged him in some way or didn't help him in the way that he wanted, or who knows, and targeted that church and wanted to, have as many people suffer as maybe he felt he was suffering. But it doesn't always have to be political. And I think like everybody's just so ready to jump to that it's like, because we had everything with Charlie Kirk and, everything else is going on. Like people, anytime something like this happens, people are going to question whether or not it's a this person is trying to do something political.
It's a sad reality. Again, it's a sad reality that we live in the fact that we become so polarized, and then you throw in the social media gasoline to light everything aflame 8 ways to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you still have to come back to the same notion that your neighbor is still your neighbor. Whether you like them or not, they're still your neighbor, and you treat them like you treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, half the nation doesn't believe that. Unfortunately, half the nation doesn't even recognize the basic necessities to a fulfilling life.
Yeah,
and this is how we lead to the destruction of our fellow man.
Yeah, no, exactly right. You hit it on the head. It's like everybody's just so desensitized to, like, other people being human beings, whether or not you disagree with them. I don't care what they said to you or whatever. It shouldn't be the thing on your head to like, oh, I'm going to shut them up in the only way that I feel like I want to at this point, and that's by hurting them or worse. Like, if you disagree with somebody, just walk the other way.
Well, unfortunately, we have a society where it's much more difficult to go ahead and say that I was wrong or to say I'm sorry. But I have to admit, I did not expect somebody like Benjamin Netanyahu to go ahead and say I'm sorry. But yet, hell has yet to freeze over, people, because Benjamin Netanyahu actually did apologize to the country of Qatar for the strike from Israel to Qatar.
Yes,
the strike was 2-3 months ago now.
Oh, I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that in just a moment. But yeah, there's a lot going on and just a lot happening constantly, and it's kind of hard to keep up. Actually, it's really, really wild. But I think the mental health in this country absolutely needs to be addressed, like today, like now, like real plan to get everything under control. I don't know what the answer is, but something needs to happen. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Like, I feel like we're on a runaway train with it. There's just so many people that are just so angry and just so ready to do whatever. It's absolutely crazy.
Remember what I said a few episodes ago now, that half the society doesn't agree with us. They don't even want to debate. They don't even want to talk. They just want to be angry, because angry is what they're used to. Angry is what they were built up on. Angry is all that they know. And even with Erica Kirk, she specifically hit the nail on the head, by saying, "Lord, forgive them, for they do not know." And it's true. They do not know happiness. They don't know joy. They don't know compassion. They don't know humanity. They don't know literally every positive facet of life, because they've been brainwashed, programmed, baptized, and indoctrinated into a lifestyle of hate, malintent, discontent, and you almost have to pity them. You almost have to pity people that are hell-bent on just trying to be proven right. Like, people like Destiny and Hassan, you almost have to pity them, because they don't know the beauty of life. They only know the tragedies of life, because that's all that social media, and even before social media, you have the newspapers, the tabloids, etc. That's all that they built their entire business models on, because if it bleeds, it leads.
Yep. Everything is just all about that paycheck too. Well, not everything. I mean, I think it's a mixture of like a lot of the things that you said. But I think that is like a big driving force, especially for the media, is just to continue to allow this just to keep going, almost in like this weird sadistic agenda that's happening. Like, they're just totally fine with, no, I'm not going to calm down my rhetoric. You calm down your rhetoric first. Like, how about everybody just shh? Like, how about that? Like, it's just wild.
Unfortunately, there's not enough maturation in my generation specifically to say enough is enough. There isn't. We don't know what the limit is. We don't know where the threshold is. We don't know how to stop, because of the fatherlessness that we grew up with, coming off the provenance of no-fault divorce being introduced back in the 70s and then propagating through the 90s in particular. We don't have the fathers necessary to show us what true empathy looks like. We don't have the fathers to teach us the disciplines of controlling your emotions and being able to control your physical body to be able to use it for the good that we know we are capable of doing. There's a reason why fathers, yes, they are the breadwinners, but they are the rock of the family. Yeah. Because the father is forged in fire, in tribulation, in the heat of battle, as it were, in day-to-day life. And it is through those experiences, by virtue of not having any value at birth, that men are forged to be the leaders of their communities, to be the leaders of their families. And after the 1970s, I only say the 70s because the 60s did introduce the second wave feminism that bled into the 70s with the mini progressive era, which led into the 80s, and then all of the atrocities to come from the late 80s till now.
Yeah.
And on that front, I also believe that we have ascended, if you will, the concept that money is the biggest factor in a purchase, especially grand scale or large scale purchases, business purchases. It's no longer about money. It's culture. That's why Elon Musk bought Twitter, because it was a cultural wrecking ball that Elon saw, and he could take advantage of it in the
Yeah.
most culturally based way possible.
Yeah, I mean, even that was a huge win, absolutely, that Elon bought X for sure. The only problem is that people are still using these platforms, and not, I mean, listen, you have the right to do whatever, but people are using the platforms to fan the flames as well. Like, so it's like we are the media now and all that other kind of stuff, but with that new power comes great responsibility, and everybody's just doing whatever have you. All right, so how about we talking about unfettered violence
Welcome
and
to the
whatnot?
party, Master.
Hey, Funk, thank you, love. We are heading into Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Why don't you take us away, Navasa, with this one?
Okay. Sorry, I screwed up that transition. I'm sorry, Brian.
It's okay, go ahead.
From KATU, ABC News 2. Quote, Donald Trump invokes Title 10 and authorizes federalization of Oregon National Guard. From Portland, Oregon, the Secretary of War, come on, ABC, get it right. The Secretary of War has authorized 200 members of the Oregon National Guard to perform federal functions for 60 days, including protecting federal property amid ongoing or potential protests. This decision has prompted a swift response from Oregon officials. Governor Tina Kotek, Mayor Keith Wilson, and Attorney General Dan Rayfield held a virtual press conference to discuss a preliminary injunction filed against President Donald Trump and his order to federalize the troops under the Title 10 designation. Before I go any further, fuck your injunction, assholes. AG Rayfield announced plans to file a temporary restraining order within 24 hours to prevent the deployment. Governor Kotek revealed that she learned of the Title 10 invocation through an assistant of the president, who mentioned her conversations with the president yesterday. She expected to follow up today, but received official notice through other channels. Governor Kotek expressed strong opposition to President Trump's decision, stating it is unnecessary and unlawful. Quote, for our country, it's a sad day for Oregon that the President of the United States does not listen to local leaders about what they need and how we can be in partnership, unquote, Kotek said.
It's funny how it's like the thing of like, what is a
restriction.
woman? Like where you say like, what is a woman, when they all of a sudden know what a woman is when they're talking, and then when she says something like unlawful, like what is unlawful? Tell me about it.
Gosh,
Because
it's like a woman is a woman is like whatever the woman decides she wants to be that day. Like, how am I supposed to know what a woman is? I don't know what every woman goes through in life. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as Karen sassy as possible.
No, you're probably right on it. But you know what's and listen, I'm not saying this as fact. It's just kind of like it's screaming out to me that like a lot of the people that work around or even in politics there seem to have some kind of like either affiliation, again, that's allegedly, or some kind of connection with Antifa. Like I looked back, a top aide to Governor Tina Kotek, who is opposing President Trump's efforts right now, was facilities from Antifa in tech, was arrested for allegedly interfering with law enforcement during an Antifa uprising at the Portland police station in 2020. The senior advisor, Christina Narayan, and her legislative director when Kotek was Speaker of the Oregon House, was among nearly 60 rioters in September of 2020 with Antifa mob. So she's got people in her, in her office, on her staff that are, protesters and probably, kind of like all in the mix with these Antifa people. Again, allegedly, I'm not saying that's a fact, but they were with them. And now all of a sudden they're aide to the governor of that area. So it's like, what? But
But
yeah,
oh
so
my God, Bibi, like Antifa is just a concept. It just means anti-fascist. It's not like this entire thing is organized
it's
under
an
the Rose
idea.
City Garden.
Right. Right. But yeah,
Oh
and
my
AG
God.
Rayfield said that President Trump, he lacks the authority to invoke Title 10, that law permits federalization of the Guard only in certain circumstances, which Rayfield claims does not exist in Oregon. He says local officials have the capacity to manage public safety without federal interferences. And then I kind of looked up, I mean, we've heard about this before, but I just looked up to see what exactly does he mean when he says they have the resources and the capacity. So let's see. He has liaison police. He has bike squads, bicycle, traffic officers on motorcycles to help with the traffic because, these protesters can just block traffic, emergency vehicles may have issues getting through, whatever. But we have traffic officers on motorcycles, so it's all good. And they have dialogue officers, which basically is the same as the liaison officers. And if you're asking what is a liaison officer, it's a professional who acts as a link between various organization agencies and groups. Their primary responsibilities include facilitating communication, collaboration, and information sharing to achieve common goals. So instead of sending police,
Oh my gosh. How do you not know that a liaison officer is just another way for saying like a social worker? Like we've been telling you guys that since day one.
pretty much. And I'm sure that's going to hit New
I'm
York
going
at
to
some point
stop.
too.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I need to stop.
Hey, you got the Karen disease now. You got to watch. It's contagious.
Oh my God.
No, but it's crazy because like there are people in Portland who are making videos and speaking out about this, and they're happy. They're saying like, except for these mobs, of course, but they're saying like, yeah, we absolutely need help. That they're fearful to walk down the street. I mean, these Antifa people, they don't just stand on the corner and yell or whatever and be a nuisance. They get in your face. They don't move out of the way. They block traffic. They get physical with people. Like, hence why they're being deemed a domestic terrorist organization. Like, they're not protesting peacefully, no way, shape, or form. It's not peaceful. They have their entire face covered. They have these like hoodies or whatever, a lot of them, and then like their cover up here. You can't see a thing. They look well funded. They have like all this gear on. There was a video of this guy who like went out there and he was asking all these people. He's like, "What do you do for a job?" One person said that he worked at Taco Bell. He had like a Taco Bell shirt on, and he actually was showing his face. But he was asking like all these people, like, do you have a job? Do you go to work? Or because it's very curious that you guys always seem to find the time to be out here all hours of the night and day and whatever. And are you getting paid? The answer is most likely yes. And that's why they don't need a job. Oh, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, isn't that convenient? Okay. No, you're getting paid. So, and they don't want the bubble to burst, that they're absolutely corrupt.
Not only are they absolutely corrupt, but we already got a taste of what it would look like through the Kamala Harris donations, where they were literally posting bail for these Antifa arsonists, terrorists, assaults, like whatever criminal activity you want to throw at them, Antifa was doing, and the left was bailing them out because they saw themselves as correct. And I don't know if I've said it here, but the only way that I can see the quote unifying of the country is to do a similar method of re-education, if you will, that North Koreans go through when they go into South Korea. Like when they escape into South Korea, they go through a series of re-education trainings and schools, for lack of better words, to break all the brainwashing and the propaganda that they've lived through for 30, 40, 50 years.
Kind of like a bridge into normal society.
Just yes. And people want to argue, oh, we're not a Christian nation. How dare you go ahead and force Christianity onto us? Bitch, do you realize that most of our federal government structures are derived from the book of Deuteronomy?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that? Do you realize that 90% of our laws, especially property laws, are derived from King Solomon, Leviticus, Numbers? Pick a book in the Bible, and I can tell you that there's a law derived from it. Now, the Second Amendment comes from the freaking Gospels. No, I shit you not. The Second Amendment is derived from the book of Matthew.
Wow.
I would love to point the verses out themselves, but I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I know it's in the book of Matthew.
Don't
I
ask
thought it was
me.
the book of Luke. No, it's Matthew. But no, in all seriousness, as far as I am concerned, Portland, much like Chicago, much like New York, much like DC, much like Memphis, and New Orleans, if those cities can be tamed and have their crime reduced even in half, the United States would have been one of the safest countries in the world. Chicago, New York, St. Louis, New Orleans, Memphis, Portland. Those 6 cities, you cut those crime rates in half, easy. The United States is one of the top 10 safest countries in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy
But
with what
racist.
President Trump is doing. This is absolutely, this has been going on since like the end of his first term, you know, like he wanted to be able to send the National Guard in, and, you know, he had a lot of like snakes and morons around him in the first term, so they probably weren't giving him like all the good information and help, and, you know, hey, this is what you can do, this is whatever. But, you know, he was prepared this time, and, you know, he has people telling him, this is what's legal, this is what's in under your jurisdiction, this is what's authority you have, you know, this is what we have to classify things as in order to be able to do this. And it's absolutely needed. I mean, you have all these people just running around and just terrorizing people, and it makes it seem like the entirety of that population of that area feels the same way, but it's just not true. There are a lot of people that fear for their lives, or they just don't have the means to move, or maybe they don't want to. Like they were born and raised there. They want to hope that it would change at some point. Who knows? But there's a lot of people that are welcoming this help. So hopefully, you know, it works out. It's, you know, it's gonna be a bit of a battle, but we'll see.
Well, like I said earlier, it's going to be a battle. That is 100% true. And now, I screwed up the transition earlier, but now we can go ahead and get a little bit of unifying moment for once. A moment in time, if you will, where hell has yet to freeze over, but yet the supernatural has actually happened. Benjamin Netanyahu saying, "I'm sorry." From the Hill, Netanyahu apologizes for Qatar strike, says it won't happen again. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apologized to scroll up a little.
Qatari. Yeah.
Qatari service member and violated Qatari sovereignty. He apologized for that. In a call organized by President Trump, Netanyahu also said such a strike would not happen again. Trump hosted Netanyahu for an Oval Office meeting during which he held a trilateral call with Sheikh Mohammed, where Trump, quote, expressed his desire to put Israeli-Qatar relations on a positive track after years of mutual grievances and miscommunications, unquote. During the call, which the White House described as a first step towards relations, Netanyahu, quote, expressed his deep regret that Israel's missile strike against Hamas targets in Qatar unintentionally killed a Qatari serviceman, unquote. He further expressed regret that in targeting Hamas leadership during the hostage negotiations, Israel violated Qatari sovereignty and affirmed that Israel will not conduct such an attack again in the future, according to the White House readout. Sheikh Mohammed, quote, welcomed those assurances, unquote, and expressed that Qatar was ready to continue providing stability in the Middle East. The Israeli military conducted a strike earlier this month against senior leadership of the militant group Hamas in Doha, killing 5 of the group's members and a member of Qatar's internal security force. Trump said at the time that he wasn't happy with the strike, and Sheikh Mohammed vowed to retaliate against Israel. Trump and Sheikh Mohammed met days later in New York. So, the thing that kind of Trump proposed on the call on Monday to establish positive relations. The thing that kind of bothers me a little about this entire incident, I'm pretty sure Qatar went ahead and told Israel where in the strike.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a little video that perfectly surmises the entire thing, if Brian is willing to show it. It's like 20 seconds. Waiting. But like I said, it's
just give him a minute.
It just bothers me that. Oh, I know. I just like to poke him a little. He is the alleged producer, after all.
Yeah.
Hamas leader, welcome. You hide in Doha. Think. Right here. Hamas leader, welcome.
See, told you. I thought that's how it exactly went. I mean,
So you think the apology was all for show?
Again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's Israel. But yeah. I do have to give credit where credit is due. At least he did apologize for the one casualty he didn't account for. But it's...
Tay-Tay.
It's... What's up, Papa Tay?
Yeah. I just want to see all this over. This is just complete, but
all I know is the Middle East has not learned a single lesson about Israel. You don't fight Israel to beat Israel. You fight Israel to lose. But Vash, there's an entire freaking dissertation I could write about this entire Middle East bullshit that could fall into the fringe.
Yeah, it's just wild. And you know, we know that this kind of stuff does happen where, you know, Hamas will put themselves either in civilian areas or, you know, behind places so that way, you know, because they're already, like, these people that are doing this, they were all ready to die, you know, like they feel like whatever they're doing, it's, you know, it's for the greater good of their, you know, their ideology. So they will die for it, and they'll put themselves in areas where they would either get protected or, you know, by being in these civilian areas, or, you know, once they're found out to be in these areas and then a civilian gets killed, then it's like, see, we told you, you know, crimes against humanity and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of that going on, that's for sure.
Well, trust me, Biddy. If you want to talk about crimes against humanity and further into the greater good of some idiot organization's ideology, you don't have to go international to find it. You got to look in your backyard, because you guys are about to vote it in. Because another candidate in the New York mayoral trial. Hold on. Another candidate in the New York mayoral race has dropped out. And I am saddened to hear that Eric Adams dropped out. I'm not surprised, but I'm sad. Take it away, Biddy.
Yeah. All right. Let me just read a little bit of this and then I'll give you my grievances. So from NBC News, Eric Adams drops out of New York mayoral race. New York Mayor Eric Adams announced Sunday that he is dropping his third-party bid for re-election. He did lose the Democratic primary, and then he started running as an independent, narrowing the field for November's election. Despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign, Adams said it in a video on X. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. So he's saying, like, you know, that whole issue that he had where he was raided, but misuse of campaign funds and whatnot, you know, that's kind of like at a head, and he's having issues getting the funding he needs now, because I guess he's saying people don't trust him with the money, which would make sense. In a nearly 9-minute video, Adams, who enjoyed strong ratings from New Yorkers early in his term, but whose standing plummeted after he was indicted on federal corruption charges, which were then dropped by the Trump administration, said he hoped New Yorkers will see that despite the headlines and the innuendo, I always put you before me. The question now is how Adams's move shapes the mayoral race going forward in the nation's biggest city. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is also running a third-party bid for mayor, said in a statement shared first with NBC News that he believes Adams is sincere in putting the well-being of New York City ahead of personal ambition. We face destructive extremist forces that would devastate our city through incompetence or ignorance, but it is not too late to stop them, said Cuomo, referring to, without naming, Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani, a state legislator. Cuomo praised Adams, saying he has much to be proud of in his accomplishments. Whatever differences we may have, Eric Adams' story is undeniably one of resilience, a testament to the spirits of the city, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, whatever. The whole city is a hot mess. It's been a hot mess for years now. Adams started talking about, you know, adding more housing and different things like that, but the city is still a mess. It's been a mess. It's way too high. Rents are too high. Taxes are high. It's, you know, congestion pricing constantly. I mean, that comes down from the governor too. Crime is absolutely out of control. Very, very much so during his entire administration. But now, now we have, like, they're kind of giving us this idea that I'm not a crook. Yeah. They're giving us this idea that all we have to choose from is Mamdani or Cuomo. And it's like, we do have Curtis Sliwa, and they're making it seem like, okay, a Republican will never win in this city. It is very, very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. But people remember what Cuomo was like as governor during COVID. They were, you know, people remember, you know, things that sexual allegations that came out against him. People remember what happened with the nursing homes and everything like that. That's still on people's brains. So I think that he doesn't really have a chance. If anything, we should really be propping up Sliwa against Mamdani, because Mamdani seems to be the one that the people who don't want to work, who don't want to do anything, and are looking at like the government-owned grocery stores and the cap on rent, and, you know, taxing the rich and giving it to the poor, and like this whole like Robin Hood-esque thing that he's trying to promote to people. They're, you know, those people that want the handouts, they're going to be voting for him. So everybody else, like the people who are working, and they can understand that a lot of his policies are going to destroy this city even further, especially with his ideas on, you know, policing and whatnot. They're going to vote for somebody else, and it should be Sliwa, and we should really be promoting him. You know, Curtis Sliwa, he made a claim about a week ago that he was being bribed to drop out of the race and that he wasn't biting. And of course, Cuomo and Adams at the time said he should have said who it was, and that it wasn't true, that he was lying. So there's that kind of like in the ether. And then CNN host asked Mamdani if it was the offer from Trump for Adams to be an ambassador to Saudi Arabia that might have, you know, gave him the idea to drop out as well. But I don't know. I don't know why he dropped out. Maybe he didn't want to look stupid. it could be some of these other reasons that are being thrown around. All I know is that we're in big trouble here in this city. We are in big trouble.
Oh, don't be mistaken. Not only are you guys in big trouble, but there's only one man who can save you.
Who's that, Batman?
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Super Trump.
Well, President Trump did come out and make a statement that he wasn't going to be giving any of like the federal funding needed for Mamdani to get any of these policy proposals to go through.
Again,
I don't know.
I highly expect. Personally, I would love to see this actually come to fruition. But if Mamdani becomes mayor, I guarantee you Donald Trump will do everything in his power to make himself Super Trump, especially in the eyes of New Yorkers, because it's kind of like a Russian. It takes a Russian to kill a Russian. It takes a New Yorker to take down a New Yorker. Am I wrong?
No, I hear you. I wouldn't. I mean, I guess he is a New Yorker, but I wouldn't even call him a New Yorker. He's a guy that's trying to come in, trying to promote this idea of like, oh, tax the rich and everybody should be fair, when he comes from wealth.
No.
He just had a multi-million-dollar wedding. He just got married recently. It's like, obviously you're not trying to live by the same ideas that you're touting. But he's a total liar, and he's probably trying to get in there and appoint all these more radical people to his cabinet. Say it again, Love.
Again, you know the old adage. Take from the rich and give to the poor. Take from the rich till there are no more.
And there's a lot of poor in this
Thatcher
city.
Even Margaret Thatcher called out the BS. Socialism only works so long as your neighbor has money. But you want to know which neighbor we finally have actually did something positive for once as a federal agency?
What? Who?
You want to know?
What? Yes.
NASA.
Oh!
20 years ago, NASA finally did something fun, put Perseverance on Mars, and they may have just discovered the most ancient life yet. From Yahoo News, the Perseverance rover may have found the strongest evidence of ancient life to date. NASA's Perseverance rover has been exploring Mars's Jezero crater since 2021 with a primary objective to investigate the environments that could have supported life in the past on the red planet. In order to do that, the rover is busy collecting samples for a possible return to Earth, where they can be meticulously studied. Jezero crater was the obvious choice for the research because orbital data revealed evidence of abundant water in ancient times. There's an old, now dry, river delta that used to supply Jezero crater with water. After all, the name Jezero in some Slavic languages means lake. What's more, this former lake might have just done a lot to help Perseverance find signs of ancient Martian life. Rocks with strange patterns potentially created by organic reactions. During the survey of the crater floor and the feeder valleys, the rover encountered sedimentary rocks with distinctive surface textures. One of the most notable examples featured round, dark-toned markings scattered against pale mudstone. The scientists referred to this pattern as leopard spots. But there's more to them. Their resemblance to the mineral structures seen in some Earth environments suggests they're the result of redox reactions involving sulfur, iron, and phosphorus. In a terrestrial setting, such a reaction can be driven by either abiotic chemistry or microbial activity. The presence of these leopard spots on the Martian rock is astonishing, but research in this area is far from finished. While Perseverance can document the morphology, mineralogy, and chemistry of the samples on site, Determining whether these features are a representation of biological activity or purely geochemical processes requires laboratorial analyses on Earth. You know what this all says?
What? A lot of
We're
money
not
being
meant
spent.
to find out.
Oh.
No, we're not meant to find out. In July
Possibly.
2024, yeah.
I mean, are we
Just how
actually
the hell
gonna
they're going to get those samples back to Earth?
Same way they got the rover to Mars.
How did they?
No,
get it?
that's stupid.
Oh.
No. It was a capsule. No, more likely than not. Again, more likely than not, they're probably going to end up creating a module that is capable of Perseverance to send off the module into the craft and then have the craft come back to Earth. Again, more likely than not. But correct me if I'm wrong, but there were some grumblings going around about a manned mission to Mars before the end of the Trump term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about on the last show is that young lady. I don't know if she's like 24 or 26 years old, but she said that she's ready to go. Like whenever they're able to do it, that she'll take the one-way ticket, go up there and do her research and send information back, and that's scary. I really wonder if I wonder if they believe that we're actually going to possibly live up there at some point. If this is like what all of this is going towards. Like we're spending all this money and doing all of this stuff to, because they believe that Earth is gonna go away at some point and we're gonna have visitors. As you guys saw a sneak peek.
Well, all I have to say is that we now have a one-way ticket to Caption This!
We do. Yep. Welcome you guys to the Caption This game. At the end of every Sunset Ranch show, we have an AI-generated image we put up on the screen for you. We ask you, the audience, please give us the funniest captions, and then Navasa and I will vote on the best ones at the end. So they're probably like going, like the rover is like going around trying to find something, and they just like keep like taking things away as the rover is like slowly coming. So like he doesn't have anything to report.
Oh no, I've got some. Believe it or not, I actually have some wholesome. Caption This. I actually have something wholesome for this. Caption This. Okay, I know I am a resident of the gutter. Do not be mistaken. But for once, this is wholesome.
What?
But I gotta wait for people to submit their suggestions because I hope somebody shares the same brain cell I do. Please, one of you in chat, share my tismist brain cell. Please share my flavor of tism.
Well, Hardy says even on Mars, it's a sausage party. That's good.
It's all Kif from Futurama.
Rick is praising your transitions.
I have to get better at the art of transitioning, okay? Because I refuse to believe in the science.
The Funkmaster General said that looks like one of them. They're human buggy magigers. Was that like thingamabobs?
That there look like
buggy
one of them there,
majiggers?
human buggy magigers.
Boogie
majiggers. Okay. Biddy,
What?
do you remember the first Toy Story?
Yeah. don't know. I don't
Do
like
you remember
remember a
that
lot about it.
scene? Again, do you remember that scene where they've got the toy aliens in the claw machine?
Yes.
And they look up and it's the claw.
Ooh.
For this,
Yeah.
for this, it's the car.
The car. Wait, they're from Boston, the aliens.
Yes, the aliens are Bostonian. That's why they look so horrible.
Bostonians and on Mars. All right, let's see.
Hey, it could be worse. We could give Mars the Australia treatment and treat that as a penal colony.
Wait, you never told me what your wholesome caption was. Oh, you said you were gonna wait.
That was it. No, that was it. It was the
that. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I mean, I could go fully unwholesome and say, "Where's the couches?"
I don't know what that means, but don't elaborate. I'm telling you, no Martian built this screen. You're such a conspiracy theorist. That's cute, Rebel. Rick says, why did that AI give Mars 3 moons? It has 2, doesn't it? That's funny.
Because the third moon was there before DreamWorks ate it.
Took a bite out.
Now, in all due fairness, no, Rick, I'm not going to elaborate. This is still a PG-13 show.
Rick is sitting here like, I guess.
No. Look, you know, the other wholesome thought I had was, why did Wally? Oh God, no! Damn it, Hardy! Oh, Hardy, no. As much as I want to, no. You know,
that's actually
even on Mars, it's a sausage party. So even with Hardy's sausage party, it actually is made that much worse when you read that comment in the voice of David Attenborough. Even on Mars, it's still a sausage party. Like
Masterpiece Theater.
Yes. Okay. That there looks like one of them there human buggy majiggers.
Buggy majiggers.
Yeah, it's hard.
I know. I think. Well,
I'm going Funkmaster. The buggy majigger got me.
Yeah, I thought that was cute too. All right, yeah. All right, let's go with Funkmaster General.
You got yourself a Wally-based human buggy majigger.
Congratulations, Funk. Very, very cute. Very funny. Thank you, everybody who submitted.
Before we go any further, Funkmaster General, yes. Thank you very much for the $20 super chat earlier, but we never did acknowledge the 5 5 memberships that you gifted as well. Those are greatly appreciated, and we thank you, especially as we get bigger and bigger as a channel. With Romanation, we are legitimately 16 subs away from cracking 1,000 subs. A huge milestone, especially for any tiny tuber. We're getting there. We're hoping that we can get to 6. We're hoping to get to 1,000 subs by Halloween. That is a very achievable goal.
Yes.
But,
And guys, just
like I said
share
earlier,
share the show.
you
Like,
are-
just have your friends just do a little click on the sub button. It costs nothing, and it means the world. So, just share it around.
Hit the bell and subscribe button. Again, hit the bell and subscribe button to get notified of all of our shows that go on every day of the week. Sunset Rants, Monday through Thursday. Fatfo Fridays with Fluffy and Co. Roma Sports with Roma, Gargi, and myself. Couple that with the Drive-In and a whole bunch of other shows that are coming down the barrel, coming down the line. And you can find out all of this and more when you go to riseofmiddleamerica.com. Scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner, or just type it into your web address bar and come join us on the Discord, where we will always have somebody going ahead and spewing out some sort of conspiracy theory or random-ass topic of the day that we will
talk about for 3 hours.
More producers. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our tism is long-lasting, good people. If your tism is lasting more than 4 hours, please think of us for help. But no, we're always looking for producers, always looking for more shows, always looking for talented people that are going ahead and doing their own thing. And we are more than happy to help you achieve your show, achieve your podcast, achieve your project end. But you got to join us on the Discord. You got to join us on YouTube, on Rumble, on Twitter. At Biddy, what's your Twitter?
The Twitter for the show is @therealroma_AK. You could follow me on X at Elizabeth213A.
You can find me at twitter.com/Lord Navasa, because I refuse to say X. I'll say XAI, but I will not call it X, because that just sounds wrong. But for Biddy, for our alleged producer, Brian, and myself, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another episode of Sunset Rants. I'm going to stop ranting. Take it away, Brian.
Have a great night, you guys. Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.